everybody, it's Aquila, and this is a Lefty Knitter podcast. This is episode 72, and today is June 30th. It's Tuesday. It's the last day of the month. Tomorrow is July. The time just goes by. This is a podcast mostly about knitting, crochet, some spinning, just whatever I'm dabbling in at the time. I am Aquila, and I live in Baltimore with my husband and my daughter and my 3 cats, and my other daughter moved out. If you're a frequent flyer here, you would know that she decided to buy a house, which I'm excited for her, but I do miss her. I'm not gonna lie, I miss her. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm gonna end up doing. I don't wanna go somewhere and get my hair cut yet. I'm not ready for that. I've been to some stores, totally not feeling it. Not at all. Hi. So, you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram, and I'll have all the links down below where you can find me at. Yeah. I did not get a video of the screen that we made for our movie projector. I think I have a picture, so I'll try to insert it here. This is my symbol to stop the video, insert video, or picture, whatever, there. Yeah, we got eaten a little by mosquitoes. Not terrible. Hazel gets it the worst, and of course she was out there in like a nightgown, running around the yard, not really paying attention to the movie, because she got to stay up past bedtime, because you couldn't really project it until it was completely dark. Couldn't really see it on the screen. So now we know, and the frame worked really, really well. We made it out of PVC, and it was very inexpensive for us to use. And let's see, we never realized, I guess, that the street over between the 2 houses has a street light right there. So you could see that through the screen. So we need to figure out a way, which we tried it and it worked. We were holding up a blanket behind the screen. I know this sounds crazy, and I'm talking about random stuff before I'm talking about knitting. We were holding up a blanket behind the screen and you could see it a lot better. So we're figuring out how to put some hooks on the backside and then hang a tarp behind it. That way it'll be like darker and not as see-through. The screen is very see-through. I don't know if that's how most of them are. I've never had one before, so I can't really like compare. But that's what we're gonna do. And yeah, so it breaks down because we used all the little couplings and whatnot in the T connectors, so we can break down and put it away, and then break it out and put it up, and it worked out pretty well. We ended up watching part of Trolls 2. She's pretty much obsessed. The songs are really good. She loves the rocker troll, which is Queen Barb, if you have kids. I should also stop here and insert a video that I took of that cowl that I showed in the last episode. I should say welcome back to any old viewers and welcome to any new viewers. So if you want to go back to the last episode and see what I frogged, you could do that. It's some Handspun that I knit into a cowl, and I haven't worn it. It's 4 years and I haven't worn it, so I ripped it out. So let me insert that video, because I show you how I use my whips per inch tool that I have. I think I've showed that on the video before on a previous episode, but I'll stop here. To clean up my space a little bit here, but I wanted to check my weight on this yarn because I don't know what it is. This is that Northbound knitting that I spun, hand spun. And I got this from the Carolina Homespun booth, probably at Maryland Sheep and Wool. So you get the card, you get the tool, and then now you could just do this on a ruler, technically, I guess, right? And then it is made by Nancy's Knacks, but it was sold by that booth, the Carolina Handspun. So you take this tool. Oh, I'm a lefty, so I guess it's kind of weird because it's the other way for me, because I would probably hold it the other way. Then you take your tool. I think I've shown this probably on the podcast before. Whoa, doing this through the camera. I can't do that. That's weird. And you hook it in. And then you're gonna do your wraps. It's gonna keep going in and out of focus, sorry. I almost wish it wasn't wood, because it's not smooth. And I feel like, I know you're not supposed to like really squish it down. So I'm at 4. It's 5, 6, 7, 8. You should really test it on a few parts of your yarn too. 8, 9, 10. I'm gonna say that's probably close to 10 because I kind of squished that. So 9 to 10 reps. Sorry, that was probably really blurry when I was doing that. So if you look at your card, 9 to 10 wraps. So I'm falling in the worsted range, which is usually 4 to 5 stitches on a 7 to 9 US needle. So I'm gonna look up some worsted weight patterns, probably for hats, and see what I can find. I don't think there's anything on the back. Oh, there's the directions. Yeah, there you go. It does say for yarns with lots of character, thick and thin, which is probably what this kind of is. Wrap 2 to 3 inches and then divide by 2 or 3. I might do that, but I'm not going to video it since you guys can get the idea. All right, so I ripped that out. You can see that I ripped it out, and I was just browsing Ravelry. I put in, it's a worsted weight. That's what I've now deemed it. You know, thick and thin in spots, so it's not perfect. That's okay. I was searching Ravelry for worsted weight hats for the yardage I had, and there was a lot of textured stuff and cabled stuff, but this yarn already self-stripes the way I spun it. So I didn't want to throw in a bunch of extra stuff. So I felt like the diamond textures and some of that stuff was just gonna be lost in this yarn. And because of the thick and thin, I think it would get lost. So I went super simple, and it's by Tin Can Knits, and it's the Barley Hat, and you've probably seen it. So it's just a fitted or slouchy. Tin Can Knits patterns are great. They give you a lot of different options and a lot of different sizes. And this one is a free pattern. They also have the Barley Light, but of course I'm using my worsted, so it's the regular Barley Hat. I'm making the adult small. It called for size US 6 and US 8. I'm using a 7 and an 8. I was afraid doing the adult small with the 6s, the ribbing might be too tight. I probably wouldn't have been too much of a difference, but I want to make sure it fits, because I don't think I'm going to give this away because it's one of my first hand spuns and I think I want to keep it. So the Barley Hat, like, it has a panel of purl stitches. Garter, I'm sorry, has a panel of like garter stitches in like wherever you want to wear it, I guess, the back, front, whatever. And the rest is just knit stockinette. So I cast it on last night, and yeah. So here it is with the ribbing, and then the stockinette, and then the starting point, green for go and red for stop. That's what I was going for. There's the garter section. I think it looks really cool. I'm liking that I can see my handspun, and I'm liking that I can see the color changes, and it looks neat because you do get like this stripe of this burnt orangey color, but it breaks it up because it's that garter stitch. So I think it looks really neat seeing something in stockinette versus the garter stitch section. It looks neat. So it gives you some visual interest, and it's not taking away from the striping that I wanted. So yeah. And I've worked on John's sweater. I am now officially done with all of the red. I'll just pull it out real quick and show you, because why not? Still haven't gotten any feedback from him. So now it's just straight up the cream and the gray, and I only have, well, let's see. I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 more rows of color work, and then it's straight up gray stockinette knitting. So again, it's really scrunched up, but I'm not going to be taking it off of these needles because I'm going to be breaking for the arm soon. So there you go. Again, it's hard to show you because it's bunched. That's better. That's better. I like it. I think it looks really good. I'm happy with it, and like somebody said, if he doesn't like it, it'll fit me. It might be a little big, but it'll fit me. So I will just steal it. The end. Today is Thursday, July 2nd, and I just wanted to show you a little bit of an update on the Handspun hat, because I'm now to the decreases, so that's exciting. So yeah, there's that panel with the pearl. This is the Barley again. I'll just repeat the name. This is the Barley hat. There's that panel. And then of course there's some stockinette. I'm super excited with this. I definitely think it will actually get wear now because it's this versus that cowl that I was just never wearing. I do wear cowls. I shouldn't say I don't wear them because I have a few color work ones that I really love that I made, and I wear those. And I would like to make some more. I think I want to make some, like, there's that one that I told you about a couple episodes ago, and I really want to make that one. I bought it. I still have it. I don't know what colors to pick. I want to do it though. It's color work and it's in a tube. Well, it doesn't have to be. It can be straight rib, color work rib, or it can be color work in a tube, and then you connect it, like graft it together. So I learned something new. So let me talk about something. Well, actually, then I've learned 2 new things. So yay! I was playing with my Addi circular machine, the Addi King Express or Addi Express King Size. I cannot. And Andrea, the cat lady, she has the Cat Lady podcast. She also is dyeing yarn. She made like a twisted headband on her machine. She doesn't have an Addi. She has another one. I can't remember the name of it. But I was like, I want to make those. And I have so much scrap yarn, not scrap, just extra yarn that's not dedicated to anything, and I don't know what it will ever be because there's like acrylic and it's a mix of all kinds of things. So I had this. I made a baby blanket, maybe? I can't remember. It's the Lion Brand Mandala, and yeah, this is color Spirit, and it's a 3 light, so it's fingering. So that's why they came out a little small, but that's okay. Here's all the colors that would have been in it. Now I didn't have that much left, so I made 2 of those headbands. Now the first one I made, I followed a video, and I'll link the video down below, and she said to do 75 stitches, but I wasn't realizing that this was such a lightweight, like fingering / sports, maybe DK, doubtful, and it's a little small. So you do you crank 75 rows, well, you do waste yarn, crank 75 rows, do some waste yarn, you take it off. And then you have a tube, right? So this is where I connected the two ends. You take a crochet hook, you put your tube together, like say if this was a tube, which technically is a tube, you take your ends together, you find the top loops under the waist yarn, so you want to use a very contrasty color, and then you single crochet it, or you can slip stitch crochet it, or you can whip stitch it together, whatever you're most comfortable with. Technically you could also like graft this using the Kitchener stitch. That's just too much work in my opinion for these little projects. Because grafting that cowl, it looked really good and it was worth it, but for these, for my time, it's not really going to be worth it if I'm like just donating them. So then you graft your two ends of your tube, which is what these are, and then you lay your tube out flat, you twist it. I'll have to show one. I'll have to do that. I'll show you one. You twist it, and then I single crochet it together, which gives you a little ridge, but once you flip it inside out, the look of it is better. I don't like the look of, this one was done with a slip stitch. It doesn't give you as much of a ridge, but I feel like it's a lot more holy. Now this one, I did not have enough yarn and I only cranked, see how holy it kind of looks? I only cranked like 65 rows on this. So this is definitely more of like 1-year-old, 2-year-old maybe, if they have a small head. So this fit Hazel. So first thing I learned was I learned how to make this. I don't think I can fit this on my head. So I learned how to make this, right? Yeah, it's very tight to fit over my head. But again, it's cute, right? And you'd have to like fluff it and whatnot and make it zhuzh it, right? So looks a little crazy. I can't actually see myself very well because I don't have my glasses on. I mean, I can, I just can't see like if it looks great. My hair is so crazy. So, you know, it fits me, but Hazel has claimed this. I learned how to insert pictures in my videos. I'll insert it right here of Hazel wearing her headband, doing her like yoga meditation pose. So funny. She is so funny. She's my kid. She's so funny. I can't help it. So I'm excited that I learned how to do that. I could insert whatever I want right here. That's exciting. I don't think I can insert video in that space because of the program I used. I could try it. I haven't tried it yet. I know I can insert still pictures now, and that's really exciting. So when I talk about a pattern, when I talked about that cowl, insert picture here, I can do that. That's exciting. So exciting. I just have to remember to like, I have a folder dedicated to my phone. I record everything on my phone. I have a folder that's called podcast. So when I have pictures that I want to insert or videos I want to insert, or if I find my cute clip for the end of the video, I'll make sure I save it to that folder so I remember to put it in my video later. But these are so cute. So I'm going to definitely give this one to someone who has a much younger kid. Since Hazel has claimed this one, and I have more yarn, and I think I'm gonna crank some more out because they were really fun and really satisfying. So do you guys want to see all those? Let me know down below if you want to see stuff that I make on the knitting machine, or is it just gonna get redundant? I don't know. I mean, you're seeing different yarns, so that's kind of fun. And Vaughn is now up out of his little cat bed that is right behind the camera. I'll insert picture here of him laying in it. I'm having way too much fun with this. Way too much fun. Okay, out of the shower hair. Don't care. It is Friday and it's July 3rd, so wish everybody in the United States a happy 4th of July now, because I'll probably forget tomorrow on 4th of July. I finished that hat. I was so close to doing it. And I even have some yarn left. I'm like, oh man, I was not trying to have any yarn left, but that's okay. Little tiny ball. I'll add it into something, maybe a worsted weight blanket, or I've actually been putting some worsted weight in my fingering weight blanket, but just doing 2 double crochets in the cluster instead of 3. I can't remember. I haven't worked on that in a while. So here it is, Barley Hat by Tin Can Knits. Love it. Even John was like, oh, that's actually really cool looking. And I was like, yeah, it's my Handspun. So, hold on. Interruptions. I love it. It's so hard to take a picture of yourself wearing a hat, like a selfie. It just doesn't work. I think it turned out really good. It's actually a little big, so if I don't wear slouchy hats very often. I don't have, if I had bangs maybe I'd wear slouchy hats. I think slouchy hats kind of look funky on me because of my hair. I don't know, but it could be slouchy. Crazy hair. So there you go, finished object, the Barley Hat. And I love it. I think it turned out really good. All right, so a little bit of yarn left there. Do you guys do the challenge? Do you challenge yourself on Ravelry? I pretty much up my goal like 5 projects every year. And that's a lot every year to upgrade. But I do challenge myself to make at least 30. I think it's pretty easy when you're doing hats and stuff like that. So like if you were trying to do 30 pairs of socks or something like that, that's a lot. So I definitely would not be cranking or knitting that many socks that quickly. But I wanted to show you guys, I showed you the twisted headbands on my machine, and I wanted to show you a little bit of the process, I guess. So I'm gonna stop here and I'm gonna put in the video of me cranking some of those. Okay, so there's the video, and I showed you it coming off of the machine, and I've done 3 of these now. So let me, I have them in a bowl, it's so silly. And they still have the waste yarn on them because I want to show you. So this is the one I think I was making in the video. And then there's waste yarn, and I'll pick up the loops and I'll show you that in a minute. So that's one. This is another one I cranked. This one is the longest. No, this is not the longest one. I'm not even sure. The two of them are not 75 rows, so they're probably going to be more like toddler size, but that's okay. So I want to show you because they look very, that's not going around your head, right? So when it comes off the machine, it's still really stretched out this way. So I want to show you, but first, I talked about how you crochet, so you take, so you're going to take all the loops that are the top loop of, So like this one, this one, this one. You're gonna fold it where it starts. So you know where it starts because you wanna start and stop on the same needle every time. So you're gonna pinch it together and you're gonna pick up your stitches on either side and single crochet it so it's flat. I've done that on this side so I can show you. See? Single crochet or slip stitch. I didn't leave enough yarn on the other side, so I'm slip stitching it. So I've done half of this. See? And I can show you real quick. It's probably too hard to see. I probably should change the angle of the camera, but you're gonna pick up the top loop on one side, the top loop on the other side, which is this loop, and pick them up. And I definitely can't do that for the camera, but it's a slip stitch. So let me close this up. And yeah, I didn't leave enough yarn on this side. And I want to show you how it stretches because it's really kind of amazing how it stretches. So the king size Addi is only 46 needles, and so it's meant for like a DK weight, worsted weight. I've not done a bulky. I don't think it will handle a bulky yarn. So sorry, I'm almost on this. So when the diameter of it is definitely big. If you've seen my Instagram, John put the whole machine over his head. So the diameter of the circle is quite large. Oh, I picked up wrong and I have a stitch left at the end. That's okay, it happens. All my stitches are picked up. I just did something weird. I must have picked up one that wasn't a top stitch. So that's okay. All right, so that's now pulled through and this edge matches the other edge, and you can tell that it's flat. I started and stopped at the same point. I still have all these ends. What I'll do next is I'll take out the waste yarn, but it's crazy how much it stretches out. So yeah, so now it's not quite as wide as it was before. You can see the difference. That's held on the side. Look how much is over there. So once you stretch it, which of course I would take the waste yarn out, but you stretch it as far as you can, you flip it, you flip it once, and then you take those two ends and you slip stitch those together also. And it completes the circle, and then you have the twisted wrap part. So it's pretty awesome. I think it's really cool. So I'm gonna finish these up, and yeah, I'll show you just the finished. But I wanted to show you guys how interesting that was, how it stretches out like that, because the diameter of it is so wide, it makes the stitches really far apart. It's a very open, like, fabric. So a lot of people don't like that. It is what it is, and I think it serves its purpose for different things. So I would never stop hand knitting because I still love knitting. So watching YouTube a lot, catching up on podcasts, and they keep showing the Michaels ad for 70% off. Don't be fooled though, because when you go to the store or online, it might have like the certain yarn and it'll say price range from $1.79 or $1.97 to $4.97 or whatever, but the ball was originally $9.99. It's only certain colors. You have to pay attention when you're at the store or online because they're not all $1.97. But I did go shopping. Because I bought that machine, I want to make some cowls with those Caron cakes, the long cowls that you can wrap once or twice or 3 times. And I got most of these for $1.97, but I got all of what I'm going to show you for $25. So I got this one. This is a Caron cake. These are, I think they're 100% acrylic. Nope, I'm sorry, 80 acrylic, 20 wool. So I got one cake. This one was a hot mess, but I don't care. I'll fix it. for $1.97. You can't beat that. That one's really pretty. I think it's really, really pretty. I'll show you all the cakes first, because I did get some other yarn also. I got this one. This is also a Caron cake. And that's all those ones. So I ended up also getting, because I don't know how this is going to work on my machine, they had a cotton mix. It is cotton and acrylic, 60% cotton, 40% acrylic. These were also $1.97. That color is beautiful. It reminds me of like Neapolitan ice cream. What did they call this? Rose Whisper. Not quite what I would have called it. Can you tell I like food? It's got 2 of those. I like them. They're huge. I mean, they're really big. You get, if you've never worked with these, they're size 4 and 530 yards. Sorry, I'm piling everything in front of me. So I also got this because I am making a cowl for a friend, and she wanted like a mustard gold color. And so I'm gonna knit one or crank one of those cowls on with this. And then I also bought more scrubby yarn because I love making those scrubbies, and I think they're gonna be really nice gifts. This is the scrubby, plain scrubby. They have like a scrubby cotton, which I've not used, and they have a scrubby sparkle or something. I guess it's spark. I didn't even look at it. I went straight for the one that I know I like. So this ball seems a lot bigger, doesn't it? Is it? Is it bigger? One ball. Well, that's the colors of the ones on the label. It said it was called bubblegum, and I was like, very confused. Sorry, this one is just black. And 92 yards. Oh, 78 yards. They are smaller. Wow, 3 ounces and 3.5 ounces. I did not even realize. So you get more with the, I wonder if all of the flat color ones are bigger. This one's called Candy. That makes sense. That could have been bubblegum. So I also bought, because I love the Patton's Croix, and they were on sale. I don't remember what they normally are. They're probably closer to $6. But they were on sale for Patton's Croix. Well, that one was not on sale. No, they were. I apologize. They were $2.97. So 2 balls were cheaper than the price of 1. So I can get a whole pair of socks for $6. I've bought this color before, and I've showed you guys this color before. I've not knit with it, but I'm excited to knit with it. Then they had 2 balls of this color, and I liked that too. And they only had 1 ball of this color, and it was a hot mess, but I didn't care because I'll just rewind it. And I thought that was pretty. Now this one's different because it's the FX. Knits up a little different. That's a lot of yarn for $25. Now, because I want to start making hats and donating them to like homeless shelters, women's shelters, things like that, possibly selling them to my friends for easy Christmas presents for family, easy Christmas presents for myself for family. Yeah, the discounted, the price I paid, $25, that's usually like 1 gift. I have lots of gifts here. That's exciting. Very exciting. So I just had to show you that. It's at Michael's. You just have to pay attention to colorways are certain prices than others. And I guess maybe because they're going to be discontinued. I don't know why they do what they do, but they do. So there you go, guys. I'll show you the more of the twisted headbands when I finish them, probably to round up tomorrow's video. So it is now the 4th of July, and I just want to show you those headbands real quick. So this is going to be short and sweet. I'll show you the sweater progress too, because I am 1 row from color work being done. So I was seaming them in the back. So here's one of the tubes with the seam. I remember seeing a video where they did it differently and there wasn't a seam in the back. So this one I also did with the seam in the back. This one's really tiny. This one's definitely like super baby size. It's cute though, still. So I watched a video and I seamed it different. So there's no seam in the back and it looks a lot different. This one is different. It's the way you seam it. So I can try to find the video. It's got to be in my YouTube history. But I think that is way cuter. Then you don't have the seam. Yeah. So it's just the way you fold the tube ends and sew it together. Pretty interesting, actually. It was different, to say the least. I don't know if there's other, like, better ways, but that's the way that lady did it, and I didn't mind it. So I'm keeping also a little journal of the yarns I'm using, how much yardage comes in each skein that way, and then measuring how many rows per inch or 4 inches. That way I know if I buy more of, say, this yarn, I know I have to crank this many rows to make a cowl this long. It'll be really helpful, because once you can't measure while it's still on the machine, because you got to really stretch it out. I've showed you guys that you have to stretch it. So I measured this one, I cranked this. This was one whole ball of the Impeccable. I showed you guys, I purchased that at Michael's. And I wrote down the rows, I believe 2, but yeah, loops and threads Impeccable. I'm like, why does it say loops and threads Impeccable? So before I stretched it, it was 27 inches. 198 rows is how much I got. I cranked the whole ball. That's the whole ball. It can go around twice. Outside, Hayes. Sorry, I can't cut that one out. Wrapped twice. Really tight. One loop. Still kind of, I wish it was a little longer. So I'm not sure if I would buy this yarn to make the cowls again, but it was 198 rows. Before I stretched it, it was 27 inches, and after I stretched it, it was 42. It's a big difference. That's a big difference once you stretch it. So you can't go by how big it is when you're measuring it on the machine, because it's not accurate. So this will give me a better idea of what yarns I can get the most bang for my buck out of, I guess. And how many rows to crank this or to crank that. So I'm just going to use this little method. The other thing is John's sweater, of course. I'm trying to keep this really short only because I did edit everything already yesterday, and I'm just going to amend this to the end of the video. And I was at like 36 minutes or something. I'm trying to keep them between even less than half an hour. I like shorter podcasts, in my opinion. Just my opinion. Between 30 and 45 minutes. I don't want it to go much longer than that. So I am almost done. So I do have it now on 2 needles, because I was like, I really should have him try this on, and we took pictures to see, and it looks really good. So now it is on 2 needles right now. So I have stoppers on the ends of each needle, and then you can see wherever my stoppers went. They're in here somewhere, because everything curls up. But let me put my phone down. I only have two more rows here. Actually, a row and a half, because I'm halfway through a row right now. So it looks really awesome. It fit him even better. It fit him right on the shoulders, right where it was supposed to. So I won't probably have to aggressively block this. I will block it just to get the stitches nice and straight and even. So we are not going to have a segment with John on today. Sorry, I know you guys love him, and he's funny. He is my comedian. He's the one that usually makes all the funnies. Not to say I'm not funny, but I feel like my sense of humor is just a little bit different. I don't know. So I hope everybody's having a good, 3-day weekend. Not everybody probably had off yesterday. I had off yesterday. So yeah, I hope everybody gets to spend time with their families in a safe manner. Don't go to crazy big parties. COVID is still a thing. It is not over. So on that note, I'm gonna just keep cranking some stuff and knitting away, and I hope everybody else is getting to also enjoy a little bit of fiber time, whatever you may be doing, crocheting, knitting, cranking, weaving, whatever. All right, until the next time, guys, knit happy. Bye.